Many pandemic-era trans healthcare benefits may be rolled back as the pandemic comes to an end. The trans healthcare experience carries significant emotional roadblocks well beyond insurance forms. For trans folks, being dead named, misgendered, and harassed is very common, even among well-trained providers and in inclusive settings. Thanks to temporary changes made in response to the pandemic, it is now totally normal and common for hormone replacement prescriptions, counseling, and even hair replacement treatments to be administered completely outside doctor offices. But some of the flexibilities that made this practice possible will be rolled back as early as May, and the end of 2024 could bring an even more dramatic shift backward for many accommodations that greatly benefited the trans community. Telehealth in some ways is going to be a staple that pretty much every healthcare organization uses, says Jerica Kirkley, doctor and chief medical officer and co-founder of Plume. But the path forward gets tougher if the federal government doesn't recognize that some of the policies it put in place because of COVID were a vast improvement over what we were all doing before. Since nothing is certain at the moment, it is unclear what the extent of this will be, but there are some things we do know for sure. With the official end date of the pandemic set for May 11th, according to the White House, one of the most significant changes coming will be the end of a waiver of the DEA rule requiring controlled substances, including hormones like estrogen and testosterone, as well as allergy pills, blood pressure and cholesterol correctives, and anti-inflammatories, to be prescribed only with in-person doctor visits. In order to avoid this, the 2008 Ryan-Haight Act, which was written to curb online pharmacies, would need to be amended to avoid forcing patients who started hormone replacement therapy remotely into finding in-person caregivers to get their next prescription. That could mean things could change in a big way for a lot of folks, says Kirkley, who expressed optimism that the Biden administration would find a way to continue a policy that has been a game changer for so many in the trans community, as well as so many others. We've seen such a massive benefit in terms of access to care that I do think there's enough momentum. Hopefully, we will see some lawmakers take action to ensure that some of these provisions that were available under the pandemic era are going to be continued, as they're extremely beneficial for not only the trans community, but so many others that rely on virtual health visits and virtual care.